It's my pleasure now to introduce DuPage County Board Member Greg Hart, and I also get to say how thrilled, it was one of the best decisions we made as a Giving DuPage board to have Greg join our board. He's one of our elected officials in DuPage County, but I'm lucky to have him on the GD board as well. So Greg, come on up. He's going to introduce our keynote speaker.
Well, thank you, Shefali. It's one of the honors of my life to be able to serve on the Giving DuPage board, and as an elected official in DuPage County, it's one of the honors of my life to be here with you all this morning. As Shefali mentioned, my name is Greg Hart. I serve District 3 on the DuPage County board and then also on the Giving DuPage board for the last 2 years. And really being in this room with you all today, similar to last year, it's really one of the things I look forward to most every year, because I have the opportunity to really see greatness in our county and see some of those who make the biggest impact for our residents, which is what we're all here and focused on. Each of you demonstrate your commitment to service and your commitment to doing good in our county. And it's that commitment to service, and if I can be so bold, that commitment to kindness, that is something we desperately need in our society today. We all know that we're living at a time where, we turn on the news and it's nothing but negativity. And less those who make the news are people who we can really point to a social impact demonstration that they are living today for. And really that's what it used to be about. Leaders that made news were doing good in our community. That's why they were making the news. But today, we're having the opportunity to make news here in this room because we have a fantastic group of leaders in yourselves that may not make headlines every single day, but are doing the work that should be making the headlines. And for that, I want to give you all a round of applause. It's my true belief that leaders should be leading not just with their heads and their ideas, but honestly with their hearts. And I'm so encouraged to be here with you and to see that those of you who devote your time and your resources have really been focusing on what's in your hearts. And it's really because of you that I'm so proud to be a DuPage County resident. It's the reason why I think we have the mantle as one of the more compassionate counties in Illinois. And I think that's a direct result because of you and your efforts here. And frankly, on behalf of your DuPage County government, I want to thank you very much for your service. Now, we're very fortunate to have a speaker here today who was able to join us last minute. I'm thankful to her for that. That really does share this belief and shares the belief in what volunteers can do and the impact they have on society. And that's why I have the distinct honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Anna Weselak, who is the founder of Weselak Associates, which is her own consulting business that provides seminars, classes, workshops to businesses, agencies, and organizations. And her career has really been devoted and dedicated to training and teaching about organizational growth, professional development, personal growth, and offering her a chance to work with the very young and the very young at heart. She was also an instructor for the International Renewal Institute and served as past Illinois PTA president and then national PTA president for the entire organization across our country. And as we all know, PTA is one of the largest nonprofit organizations that exists. Her list of accomplishments includes being recognized multiple times on the Who's Who's list of most notable women. She's an NIU alum and a proud local Lombard resident, and she's excited to tell you her story about how volunteer was the common thread that she had throughout her career. As I mentioned, most importantly, we know Anna is gracious and generous for stepping up. I think she said yes in 2 minutes when we reached out, which is, I think, a new record, so appreciate that. And simply, she serves as a fantastic example of why volunteerism and social leadership is so important in our world today. So I hope you all join me in welcoming Anna Weselak to the mic. Thank you.
Good morning. I am really happy to have the opportunity to be here with all of you this morning. And this is, by the way, my #1 event today. This was such a thrill to be asked to come. And it probably took 2 minutes because I knew the wrath I'm going to face when I go back to the fitness center tomorrow, because I had to cancel out that training this morning. So for that, I thank you for that opportunity to go tomorrow instead of today. But I'm happy to be here with you. And thank you to the organizers of Volapalooza and Giving DuPage for inviting me to speak with you today. And thanks to Darlene Rossetti, who suggested that you give me a call. It's truly an honor to recognize you for your volunteer service and to the benefits you've brought to yourselves, your organizations, and to your entire community. I also want to thank those who welcome volunteers, because I know it's not always easy to balance volunteers with paid employees. And so thank you to those of you who reach out and willingly accept and encourage and empower volunteers to assist you in all that you do. So I wish to begin by giving all of you a paycheck as volunteers. It's not necessarily the one that you can pick up on Friday out of your mailbox, but it's the one that means the most to all of us in our volunteer roles, and that's simply thank you. When people thank a volunteer, it's because they see the good things that you're doing, and rightly so. What others do not see are the many things that you personally gain as a volunteer. When someone thanks you, oftentimes you may shrug it off and say, oh, I'm just a volunteer. But you are so much more. You share your talents and your gifts to those that you help. In turn, you build relationships with other volunteers and skills that you've never thought you had. Think about the long-lasting friendships you have developed as a volunteer. And I bet there were even times as a volunteer that you outperformed yourself and surprised yourself of something you could actually pull off. In those experiences and skills, you've probably acquired and transferred some of those skills into your workplace and into your personal lives to make you a better employee and a better person. 25 years ago, I had a need to supplement our family income to help to put my 3 children through college. After teaching for 4 years, I began my volunteer career while I was a stay-at-home mom. My goal was to help make my community the best place to raise our family. Because of my volunteer experiences, I had the confidence to start my own business. And that allowed me the benefit of flex time and combined my teaching experience with speaking and teaching and training. I first joined, I live in Lombard, which is where we first settled for raise our family. And I joined the Newcomers Club and then my local women's club. I also joined the American Association of University Women, was appointed to a school district citizen advisory council. And by this time, my children were about ready to start school. So, as most parents, I joined the parent organization, which was the PTA. And like involved parents understanding the importance of being involved in your children's education, I just kept saying yes. I found myself as the PTA president, my PTA council, and all of a sudden as a member of the Illinois State Board of Managers. This sound familiar to some of you in here? They give you a call and you say, yes, I can do that. So I kept saying yes to new positions and eventually became president of the Illinois PTA. But that didn't stop me. I continued to say yes, and I held several positions at the national PTA level and woke up one morning, looked across the hotel room at my daughter and said, was I really just elected to be the next president of the national PTA? And she looked at me and she said, yes. In that position as a volunteer leader, it allowed me to travel to all 50 states of our wonderful country and beyond, where there are PTAs in other countries and in Department of Defense schools. I spent a lot of my time on Capitol Hill, talking and influencing legislators as a parent advocate, and leading legislative briefings on the importance of parents and their involvement. I spoke to many leaders across the country, governors, senators, and continued to say how important the welfare of our children and the education of our children is. After leading this organization of 6 million members, over a board of 28 and a staff of 56, the logical move would be to retire from my business when I was finished. By this time, those kids had finally made it through college. But volunteering was in my blood, and as many of you can relate to that. So today, those 3 kids are fortunately married in their own homes gainfully employed, and have given me 7 beautiful grandchildren. And I'm blessed to say that my business has never done better, so giving that up was not an option. So maybe I should cut back on my volunteer opportunities and organizations. Well, that hasn't happened either. I'm currently creating a new path for myself as the incoming governor of a 3-state district of Zonta International Organization, which is a service and advocacy organization for women that works to empower women and girls worldwide. So I am delighted to be looking forward to helping them celebrate their 100th anniversary in Chicago in July at their biennial convention, where I will be installed as one of 32 governors around the world. So with all of this, I look back upon my experiences, and I've realized that I've been able to give at least a little bit to all the organizations that I belong to. So not only for the work that they do, but to help build and strengthen those organizations, because we all know at times like this, gaining and getting volunteers, building membership in volunteer organizations is very difficult. And we oftentimes see it falling back from what it used to be. So with those efforts, I continue to think it's all about quality, not quantity. We are today working with many nonprofits whose memberships have fallen behind, but whose volunteers continue to do just as much, if not more. So the quality of our volunteers is outstanding as we continue to do our work. As volunteers, it's easy to get discouraged. Maybe you did not raise as much money as you wanted to, or have as many volunteers help you out as you expected, or as many people attend your event. Those are tangible results. How many new relationships did you build? How many people did you help? How many bowls of soup did you serve? Again, it's all about the quality of the work you do. Good things happen when we all come together. Collectively, every effort and every one of you helped to make DuPage County a little better. You helped to make DuPage County one of the most favorable places in the country to live, to work, and to raise a family. So maybe you didn't collect that paycheck on Friday, but let me be the first to give you your paycheck for this week. Thank you. So as I conclude, let me share with you a quote from Albert Schweitzer. Wherever you turn, you can find someone who needs you. Even if it's a little thing, do something for which there is no pay, but the privilege of doing it. So I thank you for sharing your gifts and talents. Thank you for strengthening your company, organizations, by building stronger relationships. Thank you for the people you help every day, even the ones who do not think to say thank you to you. Thank you to Giving DuPage for empowering all of these volunteers here today. And thank you, for you are much more than just volunteers. The best to all of you, and congratulations to the honorees.